Good afternoon, mech warriors, mech techs, and nobles in hiding. It is Thursday, the 16th of July, and here we are coming at you live from the Rasselhague Republic. Hello, everybody. Oof. What a week. What a week we have had. So, those of you who were with us earlier in the week will know that we had to cut Monday's stream short because my housemate's toilet exploded while the plumber was away. So we're in a rented accommodation now. It's a really, really nice place, honestly, and I'm really happy with it. But we had some minor plumbing issues, and we're like, okay, fine, we'll just get the plumber in. Yeah, it's all good. Literally, the moment the plumber left to go get more tools, the toilet just took that opportunity to play merry hell. And there was water everywhere, and it was all a mess. And then anybody who was here on Monday also remember that I was a little bit of a grumpy pants, and I didn't really know why. So fast forward to Tuesday, and I wake up and I feel like death warmed up. I was so sick, and I really don't like canceling streams because it's like, consistency is king. But the other thing is, some of you are subscribing, some of you have donated, and thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed, donated, or just come in here every week to hang out. And then I want to make sure that those of you who are giving up your money or your time or your expertise are getting something back in return. And the only thing I can really give you back in turn is me. And so I really don't like canceling streams, but I woke up on Tuesday and I was so sick. And I don't know if you can still hear it in my voice. I'm still pretty ill. But yeah, so I had to cancel the stream, and I was a little bit up in the air as to whether I would cancel today's stream as well. I knew the Scrotorious Bastards on Friday, that was not getting cancelled. Like, if I have to sit here and chug Cowpole or whatever it's called here in the US, I will absolutely do that to get us through the Scrotorious Bastards. But the dev streams, like, yeah, I if I have to cancel them, I have to cancel them. I will not cancel Scrotorious Bastards unless I really have to. So that was that. I did spend the time usefully, at least I like to think. Some of you may have noticed that we have a bit of an update on how the layout of everything is. In fact, I've just noticed that the layout was slightly askew. Now it is no longer askew. I'm just trying to make sure that you guys are getting a quality stream, at least as quality as I can deliver. Me, who has absolutely no freaking clue what they're doing. Anybody who was here during the pre-roll would... Okay, so Psychatic has paid 100 bits, thank you so much Psychatic, to launch a Comstar interdiction. I am not allowed to say MekHQ for the next 5 minutes. So until 1:10 local time, I will not be allowed to say MekHQ because I'm being interdicted by Comstar. Thank you so much, Psychatic. But what was I saying? Yeah, so like I took the time to kind of spruce up make the alert slightly upwards. Okay, give me a second. We can do that. We have the power. We have the technology. Oh no, that's not doing it. Wrong button. Let's try that again. No. That's probably fine. Redeem says 3 minutes. 5 minutes is easier for me to remember. We'll do 5 minutes. We'll do it until 10 past. So you get an extra minute for free. Technically 3 minutes for free. Who cares? It's cool. All good. I'd rather give you more time than give you less time. But yeah, so I'm not allowed to say the word I'm not allowed to say until 1:10 local time. But yeah, so I took some time. I spruced up the layout a little bit. I made it a little bit fancier. There will be some teething troubles. Like, I realized while we were in the pre-roll that I never actually tested the new alerts location. Which, if anybody was here for the half an hour pre-roll, would have noticed me frantically spamming my own rewards to try and make sure the alerts were in the right place. But I can fix that after stream. It's mostly in the right place for now. So what have I changed? Well, for one thing, anybody who's here for the pre-roll will now know we have like a whole fancy pre-roll thing. We've also got a new Be Right Back. We actually have unique Be Right Backs and starting soons for our word I'm not allowed to say, Scrotorious Bastards. We'll say that. Scrotorious Bastards streams on the Friday and our dev coding streams throughout the rest of the week. So we've got different ones. All of our alerts have been updated as well to be a little bit more fancy. Yeah, I mean, we've got some new channel redeems, some bits redeems as well. Radar says, hello, home from the dentist. I see you're having a rough day too. We have a new community challenge. I see some of you have already spotted it, but it is called Who is Your Daddy and What Does He Do? Flash Fried is tracking down her long-lost father. Spend your C-bills to assist her search. So if we can save, if we can raise another 24,000 C-bills, we can track down Flash Fried's long-lost father. And a reminder that C-bills are channel points. They are free. No money is required to engage in these community goals. They're just something fun to spend your C-bills on. What other changes we have? Oh, a little thing. I don't know if anybody has noticed my mic's a little bit better. Actually, I haven't heard it myself because I only spotted the problem during the mid-roll, during the pre-roll, starting soon stuff. But when I was editing the audio last week, I was like, oh, it sounds a bit crap. I'm not entirely sure why. It sounded better earlier. So the reason why it sounded a little bit crap and might, I'm hoping, sound a little bit better now, is because I had the microphone facing the wrong direction. Because I'm a professional streamer. So the microphone this entire time has been facing the wall away from me. The microphone is now facing the right direction, which is the direction you really want your microphone facing. Again, I have no idea if that's actually making any quality difference. I'll find out when it comes to editing this episode, but there you have it. That's my channel improvement of today. So what we're going to do today, we are going to take it a little bit easier today. We are going to we're gonna update some data. Now, this has some consequences. First off, what I want to do is I want to go through our 26 new scenario templates and just make sure that we're working as they should. Because last Friday, I noticed we had a couple of new scenarios drop and they just didn't quite do what I was wanting them to do. And so we're going to run some tests. We're going to make sure they're doing what we want them to do. Why is that an issue? So the issue is every time we change any of the data, when we launch MekHQ to test the changes, we have to rebuild the data, which is going to take a while. So a lot of today is just going to be just hanging out. We're just going to talk about a whole bunch of crap. Feel free to suggest topics in the in chat. There is technically a suggested topic redeem. Don't worry about that. Don't redeem that today. Yeah, if you got a topic you want to suggest, pop it into chat. The only restrictions are keep it non-political, keep it nothing not safe for work, nothing that's gonna get me demonetized or cause everybody to start fighting each other in chat. But yeah, if you got a topic you want to suggest, again, don't redeem it. Just shout it out, because a lot of today is just gonna be hanging out and just basically just chilling, really. Radar says I saw MegaMek is getting Battlefield support assets. That is correct. We're not wholly sure how it's going to affect MekHQ and if it is going to affect MekHQ. But They are coming. Which is amusing because that's the one thing we literally said wasn't coming with new core rules. But we're exploring it right now. One of the biggest issues is that we don't really know. We don't really know the calculations required to create new support assets. So what that means is we are very, very limited by what we can do. And that limitation means that not all units will have support assets support. I believe Kat and Drake are thinking about using a system where it picks the closest neighbor. So if you want a mech, not mech, if you want a tank and the tank doesn't have the battlefield support stats, but another tank does and they're kind of similar, we'll use the kind of similar stats. Obviously, once we know what the calculations are, we can then go in and start enabling it for everything. I'm not really involved in the project, so I can't say exactly how it's all going to work. But I am aware of that, and I'm pretty keen on it because I think people are dismissing battlefield support assets out of hand without trying them, and as a result, without actually getting to see that no, they are a very valid way to play. I've played with battlefield support assets, not the newest rules, but I played a lot of Battle for Tukiyad version, and yeah, no, I think they're a very, very valid way to play the game, and I think they're a good way, especially for newer players or players who want the combined arms feel, but don't want all the extra rules that come with it. It's a great way to kind of give that video game feel where you have your mechs and they're the king of the battlefield, and then you have everything else which is kind of background material. They're also pretty good for campaign play, not campaign play, like I suppose campaign GM'd play is more what I was thinking. So like when you have a GM and they're running scenarios each week, it reduces the amount of complexity that the GM needs to do to bring in these extra units, which is a good thing. Do we want a garrison? Yeah, actually, it's not. No, we don't want a garrison. We want something that's not garrison. So we'll go with this. If you are lucky, I might be able to show you something later on stream. Trying to decide if I should show it off. I think I might show something off on stream later, but we'll see how that goes. What we're going to do at this time point, we're just heading ourselves over to Oscar, and we're going to basically get the contract started. We're then going to trigger a whole bunch of events and delete them. That is going to give us a clean contract slate so that we can then start testing the new scenarios. Radar says, I want them for airstrikes. Yeah, no, I think the biggest winner for battlefield support is airstrikes, honestly. I think they are, without a doubt, the biggest winner. So we're going to dump up some people here, yada, 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 that's all good. Because we can't delete scenarios from here. Oh, we can. Interesting. Oh, no, we can't. Can we? We can remove scenarios. Okay, I don't remember that being added. It might have always been there, and I simply forgot. I am very forgetful. Don't care, go away. Okay, so that is going to give us our fresh start. So our next thing is going to be to gonna bookmark this. There we go. So now we're going to come out of here and we're going to go back in, and this time the only scenario that can spawn is ambush the column, and we're going to see how ambush the column works out. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it is going to have to stage data every time we launch. So I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to say it again. A lot of today is just going to be me chatting to you guys, just hanging out, basically. Raynar says, it would be cool if MekHQ could use battlefield support assets in places like aerospace fighters. Yeah. That's actually something I'll be honest, I'm really interested in being able to abstract air support through the battlefield support assets. I'm not involved on the decision making, but one of the things I would like to see is to be able to mix battlefield support and non-battlefield support. So say, for example, I have my MegaMek game and I've got some tanks, I've got some infantry, I've got some mechs. Maybe I wanna play with quote unquote real mechs and quote unquote real infantry, but then I'm like, but I want to have some aircraft, but I don't want to play with aerospace rules. I'd like the option to be able to keep the real mechs, keep the real tanks, keep the real infantry, but then abstract out the aircraft, or to put it on to conversely, the other side of the coin. Maybe I want to play an aircraft game and I want to abstract the tanks and infantry, but I want the aircraft to be real. I think it gives us a lot of options, and I think we're, as enjoyers of BattleTech, I think we're in a really good time. Like we're eating good right now, and I know there's a lot of concern and big opinions regarding the new rules, and I'm probably going to alienate some of my audience here by saying that while I understand the concern about rules changing for something that is your favorite hobby, I think that the reaction that some vocal elements of the community are having towards the suggestion of a new core rule, of the core rulebook, is a little bit overblown. Like I say, I'm probably alienating some of my audience here, and everybody has opinions, and I'm more than welcome to voice my own. But yeah, I think some of the reactions, like saying it's like the 40K-ification of BattleTech, I think are I don't know where they're getting that opinion from. I do not think we're seeing the 40K-ification of BattleTech. I think that is a soundbite that maybe a few vocal members of the community have put out there that I do not think holds water. The other thing I see is people saying like the oversimplification of the game. And I'd say, is removing skid checks for turning on roads oversimplification? Is making ammo explosions for your machine gun ammo not more damaging than a nuke? No. I think what is happening is the game is being made easier to play, but that does not mean it's being made simple. It is being made more approachable. It is being made so that it's better and easier to onboard new players, and also to play with certain rules on the tabletop. So what do I mean by that? Well, easy enough. The building rules. The building rules have been changed. And from my understanding, having not seen the rules myself, they are significantly easier to play on tabletop. And that's like, how does the game suffer from that? Hey, Puff Strider, I see you've got a 20 stream streak and you're showing off your bandits and Scrotorius Bastards pride. That reminds me, we have new emotes. So those of you who were here last Friday would have remembered that the Scrotorius Bastards banner and hand got censored by Twitch. So we updated it. Instead of the middle finger, we now have thumbs up. There we go. I also saw some other people got some stream streaks. Let me see. Knight has a 30 stream streak. Congratulations, Knight. And for anybody who points out that in some cultures thumbs up is rude, I just want to mention that actually is the joke. That is 100% the joke we're doing here. But yeah, that's that. Okay, it looks like MekHQ has booted up. Let's head over down there. Shazam. Looks like some things are a bit wonky. Let me unwonk them. There we go. We are in the void, however. So let me go ahead and remind. I suppose I can't really call it the void anymore because we're not in the void. We're there we go. Perfect. So we're gonna load up our bookmark campaign. Shazam. Oh, that's good, King Mao. I didn't know you could reverse them like that. That's fun. So yeah, I don't know. I think the problem is I don't understand the opinions that are being aired or where they've come from, and it is difficult for me to see it from the other person's perspective because I just simply don't see the point they're making. What do I mean by that? So like, I get why people have concerns and are like, those new side torso rules, not a fan. And I get that. Like, yeah, no, those side torso rules were bad. I personally do not think they were good for the game. And from what I understand, they have not been included in the new core rules. But I think a lot of the consternation that's been coming out has been coming out not because the new rules are seen as being bad, but because people have just misunderstood what the playtest was, and that the playtest was not saying these are the rules that are going to be in the new core rules. The playtest was there to say, hey, here are some of the rules we're thinking about including, but we need more data. As Radar says, I think they're using the playtest rules and not final. Yeah, I think so too. I think that's the general gist. People are looking at the playtest rules and going, oh, some of these things aren't good, and then assuming they're going to be in the core rule completely unchanged. I think the other thing is, while I do not get to see the rules early, I'm involved enough in the BattleTech community that I get the opportunity to talk to people who have played the rules, talk to the people who have seen the rules, and that gives me a very privileged position where I don't have the same blind concern because I'm not blind, and I do have to recognize that I am in a privileged position there. So there's that as well. But it's a very interesting time to be a BattleTech player. But we have ambushed a column. An enemy column is moving through the area, strung out on the march. Its units arriving piecemeal rather than as a formed battle line. We're in position first. This is the moment to defeat them in detail before they can pull together into a single fist. So what we want to hit, I see we have one force. Now the intention here was that they would deploy staggered, but I can guarantee you that is not happening. So let's advance to... We're going to get loads of ambushing the columns now, but I'm not that fussed. There we go. Okay, so start this up and just see how it works. We're not worried about that. Just checking on the right screen. Okay, no, they are being staggered. Okay, so this is actually working as intended. Cool. They're starting at the edge, starting at center. Yeah, I'm fine with edge. It keeps things interesting. So this is a scenario that we now know works as intended. Destroy around 50% of the following column. Again, it's using the term column. That should be fine. Okay, so we need to close out of here, and we're going to head back over to IntelliJ. Shazam. And we're going to go ahead and undo what we did here. We're going to move on to the next scenario. Now, off screen, I've got a checkbox that just tells me what scenarios I need to do. And next one is bomber escort. So now we have to launch MekHQ again, and this time it's going to guarantee that we're going to get the bomber escort scenario. Now, one thing I do need to do to make sure the scenario can spawn is I need to give myself some aerospace fighters. What else should we talk about today? I finally got the new MechWarrior 5 DLC. Haven't had time to play it. What me and my wife are going to be doing is we're going to play through the MechWarrior 5 campaign, and we're going to take turns doing scenarios. So she'll do a mission, then I'll do a mission, then she'll do a mission, and we'll just do it that way, get a bit of shared time. And we're going to build ourselves up to the new DLC, because I've never finished the base campaign of MechWarrior 5 because I'm not a huge fan of the level design and just the scenario design. Whereas clans, I love clans. I love clans so much. Psychotic says it has cross-play and co-op. Yeah, we actually have 2 PlayStations in the house, so we could play it that way. But no, I'm just basically using it as a way to spend some time with my wife. Because both me and my wife are very, very busy, and we have a lot going on in our lives. So being able to get some like shared video game time in is pretty cool. I also need to finish the Ghost Bears Legacy, or whatever it's called, DLC for MechWarrior Clans. That I've enjoyed. The only thing I haven't enjoyed so far is the mission where you're on a warship. That mission design, trying to destroy a dropship, was really freaking tedious. I did not enjoy that part. We had a really bad time editing last Friday's episode of Scrotorious Bastards. Some of you may have noticed the actual Scrotorious Bastards episode went live later than normal on Saturday, the VOD. That was because I was stupid. I was so stupid. I accidentally didn't put the copyright-free playlist on repeat. So about halfway through the episode, it started playing copyrighted music. And then I had to scramble to try and strip all the music out of the episode because YouTube was very upset at me. That was a very, very stressful time. Scrambling to try and save the episode so it wasn't entirely lost. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in MegaMek right now. We've got so many big projects, and it's really exciting. And I wish I could tell you about some of them. There are some I can tell you about. So the immersive dialogue system. I'm saying so much today. Ugh. So the immersive dialogue system, that's where you kind of get your dialogue pop up and it has a person to the left and sometimes that's a person to the right and it has all text and stuff like that. That is being completely redesigned. It's being redesigned by the same person who developed Campaign Operations 2C2. Campaign Options 2C2. And I launched the test version yesterday, and I just exclaimed, "Holy shit!" in real life, much to the concern of my dogs. And while we're waiting for this to build, I am going to message Alitair and ask, can I tease? Where's Alitair? Alitair, can I tease this on stream? Pretty please. Radar said IllianiDev does amazing work. Yeah. What's the channel? So this is actually in the contributors channel, so I think you, Radar, can see this. I'll test as we can. Oh my god. Okay. So after we tested this scenario, we're gonna go. I'm gonna show off. One second. So we're gonna test this scenario, and then it looks like IllianiDev is actually gonna join us. And we can show off their work. But before I move on, what I need to do is I need to give us some aerospace fighters so we can test this scenario template. And there's a very good chance that most of these scenario templates, we're just going to load in and go, yeah, no, this looks about right, and then immediately come back out of like we did the last one. But I just want to kind of just do a quality assurance check. And considering my brain's a little bit mushy, I kind of figured something like this would be a good thing to do today, because it has to be done. And it just doesn't take a lot of brain power compared to some of the stuff that we have been doing. So let me quickly give myself some aerospace. Hey IllianiDev, we're just testing one scenario template and then we'll be showing off your very hard work. So let's get some aerospace fighters. Ahabs, I'll do. We only need the one, technically. So there we go. We need to add it to the toe. There we go. Okay, let's save this because there's a couple of aerospace fighters in the pile that we're going to need to test. Not aerospace fighters, aerospace scenarios. So now when I click add scenario, it's going to guarantee me the aerospace scenario. Interesting. Why did that not spawn? Oh, I know why. So what it's probably tried to do was generate a scenario for one of our ground teams, which then couldn't happen because we had no ground scenario. So I wonder if we'll do it now. There we go. Oh god. Well, I think we can safely say the scenario spawned. Let's get rid of the spares. Elstrazi, hey! Glad you could join us. We're testing some of the new scenarios today. So let's advance to 26th. There we go. We need to deploy. We only have the one force. Good. Okay, Allied bombers are on bound to hit a priority target. We are employed by Independence, so we get a single lightning. And the Op4 is generating correctly, so that looks all good. Yep, okay, that's all good. Okay, so that scenario's down. Let me slip ourselves back over to IntelliJ, Pachow, and we're now going to head not into my repo, but we're gonna slide our way into IllianiDev. So some preamble, because we always need a good bit of preamble. What you're about to see is work in progress. It is not final, and it is not. There's a lot of improvements that need to be made. This is and you can think of this as an alpha work in progress, whatever you want to flag it in. But like I said, I saw this yesterday and I immediately yelled "holy shit" and woke my dog up. And I think you guys are all going to have a very similar response. While we're waiting for this to build, because we will have to build data, so it's going to take a couple of minutes. While waiting for this to build, if you are enjoying yourself, and if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, not the subscribe button, beg your pardon, please hit the follow button. If you're particularly enjoying yourself, there is the subscribe button, but I definitely don't want you guys to feel like you have to. Thank you so much, IllianiDev, for the follow. I appreciate you. And if you are listening on YouTube and you are having a good time, then hit the subscribe button and the bell. I always get the subscribe because, like, over on Twitch, it's follows and then subscribe for the fancy people, and then on YouTube, it's subscribe and this whole thing. So let's launch. Radar says, I know whenever I unzip a test branch, I always named it MegaMek thing I am testing alpha test. Yeah. There we go. So, who is ready to have your socks blown off? We're gonna hit the company generator, and we're gonna hope that somebody gets pregnant. So let's just up this simulator to actually guarantee someone pregnant. Aristotles says, I'm not wearing socks. Well, put some socks on so they can get blown off. But are you ready? Let's steady. Let's go. Shapow. I'm on the wrong screen. Oh my god, I suck. I suck so hard. Let me close. No, they're all getting pregnant. Abort. I'm on the wrong screen. Okay, let me. I would pretend that it's because I'm still ill, because I am, but I think any of you who have been around here long enough know that this is just part of the bloody course. MekHQ is booting up. It won't need to build data, so it won't take long. Ashtrazi says, this is why I watch this stream. King Master sounds like Illiani got her socks blown off. Yeah. Okay, we are now in the right screen. So now I hope you are all ready to have your socks blown off. And Ashtrazi, you are you have now got ample time to put socks on. Psychatic says they're all getting pregnant. Abort. Oh my god. Aristotles says, hang on, putting on socks. It's gonna take me a couple of seconds. That's okay. So now we're actually in MekHQ. Let's launch the company generator and see if anybody gets pregnant. So 1, 2, 3, pachow. And I give you your new immersive dialogue. And I don't know how well this is coming across on Twitch or YouTube, but this interference is based on the quality of the HPG network where you are. So this is IllianiDev's latest handiwork, and IllianiDev says, I think the opening effect is hard to see on stream. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's even more impressive. Oh wait, you IllianiDev, you know it's even more impressive on in person. But my computer sucks. That's why we're saving up to get me a new computer. But yeah, so this is IllianiDev's new fancy handiwork, and I was saying to them yesterday that every day we are drawing closer and closer to being a real game, just not so real that Microsoft sues us. So let's say that's fantastic. Pachow, we're gonna get some more. Oh, hello. Yes, very good. Go away. But what about that? What about that? How cool is this? Like, this is your whole welcome to the faction spiel. But just, it looks so damn, like, I genuinely am failing to find the words to express how cool this is. And like, the only thing I say is it looks so real, but what I mean by that, it looks so immersive, it looks so polished. And oh my god, of course you clipped that, Eric Strazi. Yeah. It just looks so damn real. And it's an incredible feeling to be the person who wrote all this crap, and then for someone to take my turd and then put it on a pedestal made out of gold. And that's what this feels like. It feels like Like, my words are the turd on a pedestal of gold. And I am just so like impressed with what we're seeing here. And I can trigger some more. I believe I thought that was a immersive dialogue preview here. So this gives us some examples of the signal. So we're going to start with clear. So you can see how there's no interference really. But if I slip over to just this is remote, I can see there's a bit of interference, but it's not too bad. And then if I go over to degraded, and you're probably going to see this a lot if you're playing in the Dark Ages or Ilkan, because yeah, then this just looks so damn cool to me, and I hope it's coming across clearly on stream, because when you guys get your hands on this, oh my god, it is. I love this so much. And just, yeah, this is inspiring. Psychotic says, I can't believe Illy wants to abort all those poor babies. Listen, I'm telling you, contraception is lost tech. Actually, here's a fun thing about pregnancy in MekHQ. We actually base, so when a person gives birth, we do some behind the scenes checks to see if they want more children, because there's the flag that says, hey, I don't want to have any children, and so that will get dynamically set as people give birth, and the likelihood that they want a child is dependent on their age. So you'll see people who come into the campaign older, who have never had children, they are less likely to want children. Rena says, I said this about UI I was testing the other night for a different thing, for a prototype. It's fucking cool, yeah. The Hammer's working on something that I don't know if I can tell you about, but I'm hoping to be able to show it off during the show and tell portion of tomorrow's stream. But yeah, no, this is just incredible. Alitair has done such an amazing job, and I can only just wait with giddy excitement to see what comes next. Because if this is the future of MekHQ, this crap is an endangered species. Oh no! Psychanic, thank you so much for the 100 bits, has redeemed another Comstar interdiction. I am now no longer able to say MekHQ until, looking at my clock here, until 1:50 local time. So I have been interdicted by Comstar. I am not allowed to say the word, well, I'm not allowed to say it until 1:50 local time. Thank you so much for the donation, Psychotic. Okie dokie. But yeah, that's just why I wanted to show that off, because today, like I say, it's a pretty chill stream. And thank you for dropping in, Alitair. Obviously, feel free to hang around for the rest of the stream. But the show and tell is that portion's coming to a close now. So back into data, I am on the right branch. That's always important. Okay, go stereo templates. Where's my where is the scenario manifest? I get why it's in this folder. I just really wish it wasn't. Alitair says, happy to jump in. Have to leave, sadly, to get ready for the day. Wish I could stay longer. Yeah, no, definitely. Have a good day and take care. So next on our list is Breakout. I also think we need to come up with some kind of like failure state for if we get the Comstar interdiction, something that I have to do if I accidentally say the word. I'm gonna think on that. We'll probably bring that out at another time. Breakout. Okay, here we go. And it is helpfully called Breakout. I forget what the name is, but the failure state. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But first, I need to boot up the thing I'm not allowed to say, and then we're going to jump in. We're going to see if the breakout scenario works as it should. And I think actually breakout was one of the scenarios that didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. Waiting for MekHQ to stage. Oh, some cool stuff that has been merged. Yesterday we got the first major component of the contract overhaul project merged. Wait, did I say the word? Oh my god, did I say I did? I'm guessing from King Marl's gasp that I accidentally said the word. Oh no. Okay. Psychotic. I think you need to pick a something for me to do as a result of me accidentally breaking the Comstar interdiction. Oh god, what is the there's a particular word for if you have a dare and you break the dare and you have to do a thing. I can't think of the word. Switch to mocking you, make Psychotic regret everything. Hey Hammer! Hey, glad you could join us. You just missed us showing off Alater's amazing work on immersive dialogue. I have to write the next glossary entry. Oh, okay. Someone suggest a glossary entry, something they would like to see added to the glossary. And this is going to bug me. I still can't think of the word for when you get dared something and then you don't do it and you have to do a thing. For anybody who's just joined us and isn't sure what the devil's going on, says who would have thought static would be cool. Yeah. But anybody who's joining us hasn't got a clue what's going on. So we had a Comstar interdiction, and I am banned from saying the name of the game that I'm developing. and I accidentally said it, so now I need to. Psychotic has said that I need to write a glossary entry, and we're just waiting to find out what glossary entry I should write. But I can't remember the word of what the name for a penalty. Either way, I like to think that you guys know what I mean, even if I don't. But yeah, so we're waiting for staging data. Malice is kind of a get. I will find it out. Actually, while we're waiting for data to build, let's find out. Name for when you don't do a dare, so have to. Forfeit! There we go. So yeah, we're just waiting on Psychotic telling me what glossary entry they'd like me to add as my forfeit for accidentally breaking Comstar's interdiction. And it looks like MekHQ is just about to come on. Oh, buggering hell, I said it again. I think we're going to limit it to 1 forfeit per interdiction. We're going to do, yeah, we're going to have a 1 forfeit per interdiction limit. So let's load up our game. And it is now 150 local, so I am no longer interdicted by Comstar. I can now say MekHQ again. I will say I do feel. Show me what glossary entries there are. There are about 100 glossary entries. That's not really something I can do. But if you okay, your PC's closed. Give me a vibe. Let's go with, rather than saying something specific, give me a vibe and I'll give you some options. Because yeah, the glossary is, if I open it up, it is very, very long. Here's another thing. Not sure that admins are clearly described. Oh no, that's a very good point. Let's have a look at in the glossary. Admins are not. We have to have documentation, which, by the way, if anybody didn't know, you can access in game. Pachow. But I agree, this is the kind of thing that would be really, really good as a glossary entry. So what I will do, because sitting here watching me tippity type isn't the most entertaining thing, and it's not something I can like partially do while I am working. So let us, give me a second. I could have swore I had a channel for this sort of thing. I guess not. So I will make myself a to-do. To-do, right, admin, glossary, entry. There we go. So I will do that after stream and it will be done before the end of today. Going back into MekHQ though, and we're going to generate a scenario. And as before, this is going to force us to generate a breakthrough. Not entirely sure if it's taking a time or if it just broke. It's possible it may have generated us a scenario for our Aero Lance. There we go, it did. So, breakthrough, we're encircled. The enemy has closed a ring around our position. Okay. Let's deploy. And we're advancing to the 24th. Pachow, Pachar. Oh, interesting. We're still on the wrong branch. Well, here you go. Here, you get to see Alita's hard work for a second time. I will switch branches shortly. So these are all starting at the south. Well, we're starting in the center. What are our objectives? Yeah, because it says get 50% of the following forces to the far edge. We are encircled. Okay, so we do need to go in and we need to change breakout. So us starting in the center is correct. Let's go back to IntelliJ. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're switching to the right branch. There we go. So, breakout. Can we specify a destination edge of any? Off-board direction is what we're using. We cannot. So we will specify that it has to be the north. how do I want to do this? Because the way this is set up, we don't have the option to get to any edge. I guess we'll have to specify north edge, and we will have the enemy spawning. So deployment zones. Because we have multiple ways to dictate what location is what, and it's a bit of a pain in the ass, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because it's determined by numbers, and the numbers are different depending on which area you're looking. And it is, I really, really don't like our scenario code, if I'm being really honest. Maybe if I go to get deployment zones. Aha, so it translates to let's see. This is unnecessarily complicated, but I found it. This is what we're looking for. So let's switch these over here so we have access to them. And we are specifically looking for any edge, which means they should be starting in the 9. Opt for, it will start in the 9, which means they can start in any edge. We head briefly back to MekHQ. Oh, we can't, so we'll just go to the top here. We're encircled. The enemy has closed a ring around in position. Timing it. Staying put means annihilation. The answer is pick a direction and mass everything against it and break out. So, yeah. Okay. Seekers, it would be better if everything used the same measurement. So, for example, destination edge uses offboard direction, which means we can't say get to the get to any edge. It has to be get to a specific edge. And so I need to leave a note in here at out of character. Actually, we'll do it down here. Clear event map edge. Any map edge. Scenario resolution may incorrectly mark this as failed. Not an ideal scenario, but at least this tells the player that, hey, you need to track this yourself. No, we can't do that. It has to be in the northern edge. That's it. North map edge. I don't like that. I really, really don't like our very limited scenario objective stuff. I know there is some work being done on it, but right now it's just so incredibly primitive. Okay, let's give the Op4 a bit of a boost. Okay, they've already got 1.25. Okay, that's fine. So that gives us the breakthrough scenarios. That's been updated. Updated breakthrough. Breakout, not breakthrough. We do still need to relaunch the scenario and see if our changes are doing what we want. Now, unfortunately, this does mean that we are now going to need to what am I saying? Come on, brain. No, we're gonna change this. We're gonna change this ever so slightly. So we're gonna give the Op4 1. Call it Op4. Well, that's Op4 2 actually. Op4 South. I'm gonna call this one Op4 North. So this means you're going to have 2 decently sized forces engaging you at the north and the south, which means we have deployment zone 6 and deployment zone 2. And that kind of gives the impression of the encirclement. So let's launch MekHQ and just see that the scenario is now working how we want it to. My housemate was really sweet while I was ill the past couple of days. Yesterday, both my wife and my housemate were working, and I was kind of on my own, and I was so under the weather. And so my housemate, before they left, they made me a big pot of chicken noodle soup, and it was so nice, and I was eating that chicken noodle soup for the rest of the evening, and I really appreciated it. Tonight it's going to be chicken and rice. It looks like I'm being interdicted by Comstar again. Thank you so much, Psychatic. I am no longer allowed to say the word housemate, and I'm not allowed to say the word housemate until 2:05 local. But yeah, so tonight I'm making I'm going to try and persuade my wife to make kind of like a mix between a chicken carbonara and chicken Alfredo. So we're gonna have like a cheesy Alfredo sauce with rice, and then obviously the chicken's gonna be in the sauce. We're gonna add some bacon bits to it and some pepper flakes, and I'm hoping it's gonna be really tasty. It looks like we're currently sitting at 30k of the target 50k C-bills needed to track down Flash Fried's daddy. So those of you unaware, we have the community goal: who is your daddy and what does he do? Flash Fried, one of the Scrotorious bastards, is tracking down her long-lost father. Spend your C-bills to assist her search. Oh, Psychatic wants me to hydrate, which I will happily do. They also want me to stretch, so big stretch. And posture check. My posture is actually pretty good today. Good old me. But yeah, so the community goal: spend your channel points, your C-bills, to help Flash Fried track down her long lost father. What is next? Next, we're still waiting for data files to load. Also, for anybody who's noticed a theme, yes, all of our channel alerts are now scenes from RoboJocks. Because I absolutely love RoboJocks so much. Psychetics showing their Scrotorius Bastard pride. Staging data files. Grump, 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 grump. Eventually, we're probably going to move so that MekHQ, MegaMek, and MegaMek Lab are all on the same repo, and that will completely remove the need to stage the data files, and that will be a glorious day with much celebration had by all, because like we're heading towards 5 minutes at this point, and this needs to be done every time we change even a single letter, a single character in one of the data files, and it's very tedious. It's necessary, and it's better than how it used to be, but it is tedious. But yeah, seeing as we are just waiting at this point, if you are enjoying the stream, please hit follow. There's also the opportunity to hit subscribe if you want to. If you prefer to support in other ways, there are bits and stuff you can do for bits. But also that we do now have a tip jar. You'll see the command in the episode stream title thingy. I do want to emphasize that while all donations are appreciated, I don't want anybody to donate if they can't afford to, and I especially don't want anybody to ever donate more than they can afford. That's really, really important to me. All donations, though, are going into a big old pot to get me a new computer so that I have an easier time of developing and, of course, streaming. Radar says they're picking on a Drac convoy right now. There's several industrial mechs and infantry units. Yeah, so one of the things that really threw people for a loop when I updated some scenarios a while back was it used to be that your convoys would only ever be civilian vehicles and stuff like that. But what we did is we changed it so that you could actually get a military convoy. And by that I mean you could have like APCs in it and stuff like that, and I think that was a good move personally. I think it's added a bit more flavor to it. One of the cool things we added in 51.0 milestone is that if we detect that convoy is in the name of a scenario force, it will automatically put it on the special convoy stance, so that they won't just charge in and try and kill everything with their single medium laser and machine gun. So we need to go into our company and we need to get rid of our aircraft force, otherwise we're going to constantly be spawning aircraft scenarios. There we go. Okay, we got our breakout. Just deploy up some dudes. Okay. So we are only seeing the one enemy force, which is not right, but it is deploying in the south. So let's head over to our data and just check everything. Let's just see what did we fuck up. So entry, yeah, that's correct. Oh, I wonder, can we only have one with a per force? It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be that the force name overwrites other things, but I'm guessing that's what's happened. Oh no! And Radar's getting stuck with EMI. Kingmile says the UTR 888s will stop lurking menacingly. Hopefully. Hopefully. So, because we had the audacity to rename two of our enemy forces, we now have to wait the 5 minutes for the data staging to happen again. But it is 10 past 2, and unfortunately, this is basically going to be the pattern for the rest of the stream. Hammer has sent us a couple of teaser videos. Well, that's good, because that gives us something interesting to look at while we wait for the bloody data to build. Let me have a quick nosy at these. Okay, just seeing what we're looking at. Have to turn the sound off because otherwise we get to hear whatever Hammer's watching on TV. I know what this is. I'm just checking the second video. It's some new GM stuff. Okay. Yeah, we'll pop this up in just a second. So if I full screen this and head over to Discord, I will need to adjust something, so bear with me a second, because for some reason it's all... There we go. So this is a teaser that Hammer has sent of some of the new stuff coming in 51.01. So we'll play the video and then I'll tell you guys what you're looking at. Well, I suppose I can do it at the same time. So what's happening here is Hammer is selecting that they want to become the GM, and as you can see, it then pops up the confirmation dialogue to the rest of the players in the game. I know for certain that you can now only have one GM per game, where previously everybody could be a GM. So that's that. We'll just replay that again. So you can see Hammer selects their unit, selects that they want to be the GM, and then everybody else gets to vote on it. It's a little bit more interesting. So give me 2 seconds to slip us into the next video. I like Yao, but you do not get to see mine and Hammer's private conversations. There we go. So our next video, we are showing off the new edit damage dialogue for when you're in scenarios. So you are the GM and you want to change the damage or a status of an enemy or even a player unit, for example. So this requires a little bit of breaking down, but I'll hit play. And you can see we've just got the unit layout, and then you can click on your location. It's going to take you straight to that location. So it's basically an update to the paper doll that we got previously. But now if you go down to Games Master, because you're the Games Master, you can actually edit the unit in its entirety. So you'll notice how we've got at the bottom, we've got like shut down, prone, hold down, hidden. All of that can be changed. You can change the location either up here. Yeah, it's showing mouse. Either up here where it says location head, or if you click on one of these locations, it will take you straight to that location here. You got your traitoring, you can change it hidden, and this is a complete code replacement of the old edit damage stuff that we added last year that didn't really work. Hammer says, notice the change in the armor tab paper doll in game. Ciao. Oh, I see. Yeah. So actually, this is going to mean that the paper doll in game is a lot more accessible as well, and actually to go straight to locations without having to faff around, which is, I think, is a really, really nice change. So this is some of the examples of stuff that are coming in 51.01. We've got a lot is happening. And its size. Oh, I didn't realize you'd also increase the size. That's good. I'm seeing I'm getting added in the developer channel. Cool. MekHQ has finally started running, so let's slip ourselves over there. Every time I say MekHQ now, I have to mentally check myself to make sure I'm not breaking Comstar's interdiction. Oh, interesting. Hammer explains that we had a 20-year-old bug where the paper doll wouldn't resize. Yeah, that's funny. I love this code base as much as I hate this code base. But yeah, sometimes I do feel like when we're working on this code base, it's a bit like Gollum in Lord of the Rings. We love and hate the code base as much as we love and hate ourselves. So let's spawn ourselves a scenario. Might have to do this a couple of times before it realizes. There we go. We'll deploy. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, actually, no, I don't need to deploy because I can see we got our two op 4s. Yeah, I mean, that's two op 4s right there. Radar says, I know I ended up finding a bunch of bugs on Tuesday night. Yeah. Yeah, that seems fine. We might let's up the op 4. No, because this is gonna be 1.5. The op 4 is gonna get 50% extra. Yeah, let's leave it at that for now, because we can always come in and increase the op 4's budget at a later date. Let's just stick to what we know is definitely going to work, because players get really upset at me when I make the enemy out BV them. Like, I mean, players get really upset at me, so I try to avoid that. I'm going to mute myself very briefly while I take some water. Okay, I am back. So the next scenario on our agenda is combat drop, and here's one I want to experiment with. So this is one we're actually going to need to go into the scenario, because I was going to do a thing and then chickened out. So let me see. Altitude. What happens if I change starting altitude for a non-aircraft unit to 1? Let's find out together, shall we? Radar says, take your bets. I bet it's going to throw an NPE. I think it's just going to ignore it, and it's going to be incredibly disappointing. If we're really lucky, it will drop the unit from altitude 1 with all the damage that entails. I'm testing this because I never actually tested it before, and I'm just curious what's going to happen. We are going to make some changes to combat drop, just due to how I want it to work. But the altitude thing, I just want to see what happens. And like this isn't the intention of this particular stream. Is just a chill stream, but that doesn't require too much brain exercising on my part, because I keep saying this, but it is true. I am still very ill, and so I'm just kind of just vibing. We're having a good time. Brandon says, I actually had my first low altitude dropship interception last night and watched an overlord lose control and crash into the ground. It's always fun seeing the massive crater a dropship crash leaves. Fun fact, we actually have the rules in the game for what happens if you have any units in that dropship. I can tell you for nothing, it's bad. It's really bad. It's streaming time, which of course means it's time for my lawyer to start messaging me and my wife. Radar says, I know there's also rules for if a dropship crashes into a unit. I imagine those rules begin and end with the unit dies. King Miles says, if it's a Marauder, the Marauder shrugs it off and walks out from under the wrecked dropship a few hours later. Oh, I was watching MekHQ stream yesterday, and by the way, gang, like, let me get you the link for MekHQ. I imagine a lot of you, because I know because Twitch tells me that me and MekHQ share a lot of our audience, but give me 2 seconds, because I know not everybody's going to follow MekHQ. But MekHQ. So if you enjoy like the live streams that I do, you should absolutely go over and say hi to MekHQ when they stream. Oh, of course, it doesn't let me. Give me 2 seconds. Oh. HPPS. So to protect me against accidentally doxing myself, OBS doesn't let the streamer copy paste into their own stream, but this should work. There you go. Yeah, if you enjoy the antics we get up to on the Friday night streams, MekHQ also streams weekly. Maybe more than once a week, in fact. But I highly recommend their streams. Like, I really do. They're a lot of fun. As Aristrazi says, MekHQ is a delightful individual. His stream is very chill and fun. Yeah. No, I really do recommend MekHQ streams. I consider him a friend of the channel. He's popped in a couple of times, and he actually is a contributor to the MegaMek project as well. If you want fun. MegaMek's launching. If you want some fun multiplayer ones, I also strongly recommend Fluffy and Joker streams. I struggle to find Fluffy and Joker streams on Twitch search because Fluffy and Joker aren't I don't want to say unique names. They're pretty common terms, but whereas MekHQ, I know I can always go straight there. But I do recommend Fluffy and Joker streams. They're a lot of fun. Like I've said this before, but if you ever want to see MekHQ and MegaMek used in ways it was never designed, Fluffy and Casual Joker, that's it. Hammer, if you guys want to paste links to Fluffy and Casual Joker's streams, I would really appreciate it. The bot should let you. If it doesn't, I can fix it myself. But yeah, no, please feel free to pop in links anytime there's a like you guys like a MegaMek streamer that you guys are enjoying. Let people know. Let people know. Big Fluffy and Joker have been streaming MegaMek for for years, maybe close to a decade even. So there's a link to Big Fluffy. I think Big Fluffy streams on Thursday evenings, I think. Okay, there's our combat drop. 25th. Okay, let's see what happens. And there's Joker as well. Joker streams on Friday, it's like Saturday evening, I believe. Arishtrazi says there's a list over on MekHQ's Discord I can put together. Arishtrazi, are you on my Discord? If you are, drop the link into my Discord, and then I can sticky it. Okay. It's not saying anything to do with altitude here, so let's drop into the scenario. I suspect that my theory that it's just going to ignore it. I don't care about minefields, go away. I think that's probably going to be correct, but if it does ignore it, I have plans, and I have schemes, and I have machinations. At least we got the appropriately named drop bear. Yeah, okay, it is ignoring it. Yeah, okay. So we're going to back out of here. Actually, says done. Thank you so much. And what we're going to do is... So like Alex says, Floppy made us a video where we went over the differences between ATB and Stratcon. Yeah, I remember that. That was a good video. So what we're going to do for combat drop is we're actually going to change it. So rather than the player starting in the center, we're going to say the player can start in any. And then we're going to go down to the op 4 and we're going to make the op 4 start in the center. And that's going to allow us to have the impression that the player is able to like drop themselves right into the middle. No. Let's make it a really nasty, brawly scenario. So we'll have the op 4 and the player starting in the middle and just duking it out. And that's going to create a really unique scenario, especially if you have melee bots. It's no time for conventional anger. You're going to be the hardware combat drop straight onto the objective, dropping fire into the middle of the defender's zone. You'll come down scattered and exposed to the Garrett with the op 4 already in position around you. Format fast and break before they can concentrate on your ascending units. Cool. Brenda says, nothing like knife fighting a dropship. Well, this scenario doesn't actually have a dropship. I could add a player aligned dropship that's on that's set to automatically flee. And I think actually that's a good idea. Because that's going to add some flavor to it. So let's see. I think the convoys probably, convoy interdiction should. So let's copy this, add it below player. This is going to require us to test it, but I think this could be a really, really cool bit of flavor. We'll start at altitude 3, seems reasonable, which we'll check. Because we're going to be on... Oh! I know what we can do. We can literally just copy the dropship escort. And that's going to have exactly what we want. Was it starting at 5? That seems good. Where's this destination edge? Destination zone. Oh, we changed one to start any. Should have been start edge. And we need to change that. So let's say it's going to go to never each southwest. Southwest seems good. 7. Okay, so let's launch this up and see what happens. Oh, actually, I need to change one thing. I don't want this to force a player dropship, just because, fuck it, we'll do a player dropship. It's fine. My phone's going off because my lawyer's contacting us about photo stuff. We had to prove that mine and my wife relationship is real and we're not just doing it for the green card for some reason. We have to take regular government mandated photos so that we can say, hey, look, we're a real couple. We got married for real. We have real friends. And it's a whole thing. Like anytime we go anywhere, we have to take government mandated photos. Like I have been trapped in. Radar says it's a spicy one. But yeah, no, I've been trapped in the immigration system now for like 4 years, I think, at this point. I came over here I came over here literally when the pandemic, like when everything opened up after the pandemic. Ashard says Illiani's the mail order bride. No, we actually make that joke up that I'm mail ordered bride. Vidarian says the fuck, that's messed up. Yeah, no, I have been I've been stuck waiting in the going through the whole immigration rigmarole for about 4 years. Staging data. So we're about halfway through staging the data this time. What do we want to natter about now? What is my favorite BattleMech? What are your favorite BattleMechs? So I think everybody at this point knows that my favorite BattleMech is the Hunchback 2C because I am simple. I just like to walk forward and fire the big guns, and it makes my tiny lizard brain happy when I see those 20 damages pop up. I have, in fact, never ever managed to get the golden perfect 4 AC-20 rounds landing in the same round, but one day it will happen. Ashai says Warhammer, it's not even close. I love the OG Warhammer art from the old Battle Droids box set. Brad says Battlemaster and the Vulture. The Vulture's a good mech. I do like the Vulture. I like the look of a lot of the clan mechs, if I'm honest. There's some that I'm like, that looks a bit crap, but a good chunk of the clan mechs I do like the look of. I have such a soft spot for the Locust. I don't know if I'd classify it as as like my favorite mech, but it's definitely one of my favorites, and I blame that entirely on the original Grey Death Legion novels, honestly. Brenda says especially the Vulture from the opening of Mech 4 Vengeance with a chin gun. Yes, no, the chin gun is peak. Ashrai says they like all the unseen designs, Thunderbolt, Griffin, Ost, whatever. Yeah, I am so happy that Harmony Gold's chokehold grip on the community has been broken. I am so happy about that. It's just so nice to be able to play a game set in 3025 and see the classic 3025 mechs rather than having to kind of just go, oh, these mechs are common, but you can't see them. Redus is like the Wolfhound. The Wolfhound is a fantastic mech that always fights above its weight. Always. I think it's a really hard conversation a hard debate as to what's better, the Wolfhound or the Panther. I mean, that's one of those things it's really hard to say, because I know I certainly can't say which I prefer, the Wolfhound or the Panther. Arishai says they love the Wolfhound and the Panther. Yeah. I kind of, in a way, they're like different kinds of cheese. I'm hungry, can you tell? They're kind of like different kinds of cheese. You can be like, oh yeah, I love cheese. And sometimes you're in the mood for a Wolfhound. Sometimes you're in the mood for a Panther. Sometimes you're really, really greedy and you want them both in a sandwich at the same time. Reddit says both the Wolfhound and the Panther are both great in their own rights, especially if you have them working together. Yeah, no, agreed. And it looks like we are down to just 28,000 C-bills left on the community challenge. Who is your daddy and what does he do? Okay, we are into MekHQ, and I'm just double checking. I am in fact on the right tab. So let's launch ourselves a scenario. Independent dropship, enemy. Cool. We do need to change the dropship a little bit, but for now we're just going to go ahead and grab our lads and advance to 24th. And we're just going to make sure that this scenario plays out exactly how it's meant to. So the way I'm making this scenario feel unique is it's meant to feel like a knife fight in a tin can. So we're actually going to fight this out because I need to see that it's going to work. So it's deploying minefields. We don't care about minefields. Piss off. Go away. And it should allow us to deploy in the center. Yes. Go. This is a lovely little village we're about to ruin. WTC, what's that? Watchman. Huh, okay. Oh, of course, we're in 3151, so they've got a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm not familiar with. So we can see that the deployment works. The question is where's the dropship? Okay, there's the dropship. And now what we're going to question is the dropship going to go in the right direction? We're not really fussed about what our lads are doing in the middle here, because the question was, will they deploy in the right place, which they did. And the Op4 is deploying in the right place as well. Now we're seeing if the dropship is going to try and fly off, which it should. Okay, so far so good. Reyes says a knife fight in a tin can sounds like me whenever I drop into the dropship raid and the dropship is right on top of me. So the reason why we're skipping through, if I didn't make it clear earlier, it's because what we're testing here is specifically, is the dropship going to go in the right direction? So far, so good. Actually, I says they've got a split. I'm using the tab so they get credit for the watches. Oh, thank you. I'll catch the rest on YouTube. Yeah, so this will be available. I might actually upload this today just because we missed a couple of days on the old YouTube because I was sick. But either way, it'll be announced on the Scriptorious Bastards Discord once it's up. If you are enjoying watching me hit skip movement and skip turn, please consider hitting the follow button so you can be notified of when we go live. If you're particularly enjoying the skill in which I hit skip movement and skip turn, please consider subscribing. All proceeds go towards getting me a new computer so that I have an easier time of developing and streaming for you all. If you want to support the channel and you do not want to go through Twitch, I understand some people have compunctions against that. There is a tip command. You also find it on the Twitch channel. There's a donations button. If you're over on YouTube land, please consider hitting subscribe and follow. If you want to join us over on Discord, you'll find the Discord link in the place on YouTube where links live. This dropship's not flying off like it's meant to. Awkward. Which means the dropship's going to be just like flying around this whole scenario, which does give it a bit of flair, but it's not really what we're looking for. So we need to come out of this, and we're going to need to... we're going to have to go and rebuild the data again. So I'm guessing if I knock this down to 0, that should be what we need it to be. We're also going to go down here, and we're going to check out... We're going to limit it to mech and Vs. Let's just say mech carriers for the sake of ease. I think that's going to give us. I think that's going to give us a better selection of units. Because a degree of abstraction needs to be taken into consideration. That the what's the word? That you have to kind of close your eyes and pretend that this dropship is what brought your troops down. And most players use mechs, so limiting it to the mech carrier makes sense. Psychotic says, do you know the most creative death method I've ever heard? It involves magic. What is it? Oh, I will not be repeating that anywhere near something that's going to go on YouTube. But I concur, that does sound painful. Not that we're not even monetized on YouTube, but maybe one day we will be. So we've got about an hour and 15 minutes on stream. I'd like to get a couple more scenarios done before we close off. Unfortunately, this is one of those ones, because if I go over to Safari, I do need to scoot some things. Give me a second. I don't know why this is all slightly off kilter. There you go. You'll notice that we have 3 so far ticked, and this is all the ones that I need to go through to make sure that they're all exactly as they should be. So this is going to take me a couple of days to go through. And the reason why it takes so long, it just comes down to the need to stage data every time I make a change. Because that basically means that every time I make a change, it's at least 5 to 10 minutes before I know the change worked. Taking my headset off for just a couple seconds. Give my neck a bit of a crack. And my housemate will be going to work soon, sadly. Let him know that have a good day at work. What else to talk about? My favorite Pokemon is Charmander, the superior Pokemon. Do you guys have favorite Pokemons? I'd love to hear what your favorite Pokemon is, as I desperately clutch for something to talk about. But no, I have loved Charmander. I've got a little tiny Charmander plushie desk buddy in my hand right now, and I've loved Charmander as a Pokemon ever since the original Red and Blue days. Specifically because of the one episode in the anime where Ash and Charmander get stuck in a frozen cave, and something about that episode spoke to me, and Charmander's been my favorite ever since. I once went to an arcade in the UK. Well, at least when I was growing up, we used to call them amusements or amusement arcades. And so I went to an arcade once. It had one of those grabby claw machines, and I managed to get myself a Charmander plushie out of that. And I've never won anything out of one of those machines before or since. But I was able to get a Charmander, and only because the little official Pokemon brand tag got caught on the claw machine. Claw. Psychotic says their favorite Pokemon is Arcanine. I really like Arcanine. I particularly like the episode of the anime, because I watched a lot of the anime when I was a kid, where you find out James of Team Rocket fame's backstory and his Arcanine. It looks like we have successfully wasted enough time for MekHQ to boot back up, so I'll be switching over in just a second. After this test, we will go on a short break, so I can grab a little bit more water because my water's getting low. I have a stand up, stretch out my shrimp spine. Psychotic says they won Crypto, the Superdog stuffy in a claw machine. It had $20 tacked to its ear. That's a good win. That's a good win. I mentioned this previously on stream, but there's actually a local retro arcade near where we live, and I am so jazzed to go there. I need to pester my wife into taking me. Wife, dearest, take me to the amusements. I wish to be British. So let's generate ourselves our scenario. Hum diddly dum dum dum. There we go. Now we're getting Excalibur. That's nice, I guess. Deploy. Perchow. 25th. Okay, let's see if the dropship pisses off this time. Yeah. Skip past the minefields. Just deploy our lads. One of the things I'm working on at the moment, I teased this on Monday, but one of the things I'm working on at the moment is I am updating how StratCon maps are generated, and one of the things I'm doing is updating our scenario gen. Okay, here's something that I changed after last week's episode. So previously, if they had a call sign, it would just show the call sign. But what I've done is it now shows the call sign, and after that, it shows you what they're actually in. So you no longer need to go, okay, that guy's called Mero. What are they actually in? Oh, they're in an Enforcer. And this, I'm hoping, is going to be a nice bit of quality of life. Because I know a lot of our multiplayer streamers use call signs as a way to be able to call targets. And I just think it's a really bad experience that they then have to hover over every individual target to remember who's piloting what. So now I can say, oh, they're called Mero and they're piloting an Enforcer 5D. I just think that's just a nice little touch. Okay, let's see if Crankcase, our Excalibur, flies off this time. No, they're flying off somewhere. I think they're still circling, though. That's okay. Oh, they're getting shot. That's not okay. I need that to survive to fly off. Seeker10,000, hey, glad you could join us. Seeker10,000 asks, what are we doing right now? So today we are going through all the new scenarios that I created, and we're just making sure that they're all doing what they should be doing. And we're testing the combat drop scenario, and we're just making sure that the NPC dropship fucks off, because right now it just wants to circle everybody and fire its pew pew lasers, when really I would like it to leave. Yeah, see, it's just circling. Which would be fine if it was an Aerodyne, which it is not. You don't want a spheroid dropship just hanging about. Yeah, because it's not even able to fire. Does the Excalibur even have any guns? Give me the readout. It does have guns, but it suffers from, well, being a spheroid. Okay, so now we need to go back to intelligence and try and figure out why is it not shooting the bad guys. Seeker10,000 says, is it an enemy or friendly? It is a friendly, which is good, but it is not going away, which is bad. Just check how she's deployment, same edge. Deployment zones, where's its destination? Did I accidentally delete its destination? That could explain it. Destination zone 7. What if I change it to west? Psychotic says, is there currently a company generated rework in progress or planned for the future? It is not only in progress, it is coming along very well. That is in fact Hammer who's currently doing that. I'm available for some architectural stuff. Like generally, I'm basically there as an advisory capacity. But yeah, Hammer is taking care of that. We are going, in fact, to double check destination zone to make sure that it's actually doing what it should be. Okay, so destination zone uses the cardinals, which is a different measure. Ah, that's nice. So it doesn't use this, it uses this. And this is what I was talking about earlier, how it's really, really frustrating how we basically have 3 different directional measures depending on which part of the scenario you're in. And this is why you get, whenever we create new scenarios, you get so many bugs. Because I need to use 3 different sets of integers to determine what direction they go. So we need to actually tell it to go to 4, which is nearest. What a crock of shit. Seeker10,000 says, where you have 3 game systems layered on top of each other. Yeah, but it shouldn't be like that. First of all, these shouldn't be using integers. They should be using, if an integer has a fixed value, like an enum, it should be using an enum, and you should be passing in the enum value in there to make it clearer what it actually does. You shouldn't be passing in integers. But yeah, we basically got 3 different systems that are all doing roughly the same thing, and that means that none of them are doing what they should be doing. Seeker10,000 says, oh, it's types of values. Yes. Deployment zone uses offboard direction, which is nice. Destination uses cardinal edge. And objective uses offboard direction. Why? Why do we not just have them all use board edge? Why? Ah. It's this kind of thing that's going to put me in an early grave. But we are waiting for the data to build so we can test to see if it's working this time. Hammer says I sense refactoring in our future. Yes. Yes, definitely. With some of the stuff that Hammer's doing regarding scenario objectives, absolutely yes. First of all, this needs to be changed from this to YAML, if not JSON. I'm not entirely sure what Mr. Bear's staring at, but my dog Mr. Bear is just staring out the window panting. Hi, Mr. Bear. You doing okay, my buddy? He's just wagging his tail. Oh, big yawn from Big Baby. Mr. Bear's the dog that taught himself how to smile for us. It's very cute. I tried getting a picture of Mr. Bear smiling the other day, but he gets camera shy, and so it's really hard getting a good picture of him smiling. But I think someone in chat the other day suggested we could we could get a picture of Mr. Bear smiling and make clan Mr. Bear. Hey Feisman, glad you could join us. Feisman says, I hope you're feeling better today. I'm feeling better. I'm not feeling good. But that's why we're taking a bit of an easier time on the stream today, saving our energy for the actual play tomorrow. But yeah, once we've got this scenario fixed, we are going to go and take a short break so I can grab some painkillers for my everything and refill my water. For anybody who's just joining us, what the devil are we doing? We added, I think it was 26 new scenarios for 51.01, and we're just doing a quality pass and making sure all the scenarios are configured correctly, which they're not, as we're discovering. It'll be another 2 minutes or so until data finishes. What to talk about now? What do you think, Mr. Bear? What should I talk about? My favorite, going back to the conversation about Pokemon, my wife's favorite Pokemon is Psyduck, or as she refers to him, her Sunduck. She has so many Psyduck plushies and one second, yeah, Psyduck plushies and like Psyduck t-shirts. She was so happy when she got Psyduck in Pokepedia. Oh, actually, so that was the university calling. They can leave a message. I might actually be going back to college, which is very exciting. That's kind of like a very, very new thing. My wife, where my wife works, they offer tuition support for immediate family members. And so my wife has a really, really good job that's really supportive of her. And so it's possible that her job's going to help pay for me to go through college so I can actually get a programming degree. Computer science program, whatever you call it. Which will be cool. And also mean that I can then pass back those gains to the MegaMek community. But I particularly like this college, university, whatever you guys call it over here, because it offers flexible like schedules, so that I can fit it around my streams, around the dev cycles and stuff like that, rather than if I was going to a brick and mortar I mean, I think this place does have a brick and mortar, but if I was doing a in-person fixed schedule, it would be a lot harder to keep everything fitted in. Okay, here we go again. Spawn ourselves a scenario. Deploy the lads. What dropship do we get this time? We get a Union. We. Uh, 26. Radar says they built a few of the Bandai Pokemon models for the boyfriend. I've not actually seen those, but that sounds cool. I keep saying to myself, one of these days I'm gonna get myself some Gunpla of like the original Zaku, because I really like the Zaku. I think I like the Zaku so much because it just looks like a BattleTech mech, honestly. Siki10,000 says, how are the different commands used in scenario generation? Oh, there is a lot, and I'm not going to be able to explain that on stream. It is a whole. Our scenario generation is not good. It was good a decade ago. I do not think it is. I don't think scenario generation, scenario resolution are objective systems. I don't think they have successfully grown as the project has grown. I think we've oh, commands as in the swords of light. We don't know. So what I think Seeker10,000 is asking after, so a couple of days ago we announced that we are now in fact developing persistent op4s. However, this is so early on, we do not yet know how all the different parts are going to work together. The sub-factions, yeah, so they basically just influence what units can generate, basically. But I don't believe that has a huge amount of influence at this time. I could be wrong. If your question relates to data, I am just going to have to direct you to Digorsman or Hammer. Oh, I am right. Hammer says it's basically nothing right now. Okay, cool. Good to know. Good to know. Ah, so Hammer clarifies that's what they're looking into as part of the force generator. Oh, someone just lost their head. It looks like our dropship friend is going to continue circling. Dear dropship, please fly off board like you're meant to. Oh, there it goes. Thank you. Okay, cool. So we now know that this scenario is working as intended. You get a dropship, it hangs around doing dropshippy things, and then buggers off. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's push this scenario. drop. There we go. What is next? Next, it is convoy hijack. Okay, so I am gonna step away for a couple of moments just to kind of stretch and grab some water, grab some painkillers, because I said this a few times, I am still pretty sick. So we're gonna go over to our Be Back Soon screen. Woo! It's new, but also classic. So enjoy a classic screensaver from the Windows 95 days. Isn't it beautiful? We love it. I chose this because I couldn't think of anything better to use. So yeah, enjoy Pipe Mania. I will be back shortly. And we are back. Hey everybody. Get myself set back up. There we go. Decided to start taking myself a little minute just to kind of chill and refresh before the last 45 minutes of stream. I've already gone ahead and started the data building for Convoy Hijack. And while we wait for that to build, let's have a chat about what the intention behind this objective is. So this is essentially a similar objective to... there's another type of objective where you have to interdict an enemy convoy and capture the goodies. This is essentially the same scenario where you're attempting to capture the enemy convoy intact. The big difference here is the other scenario, you just want to kill the escorts, and if you can't kill the escorts, kill the convoy. For this one, you explicitly have to take the convoy intact. So if you blow up the convoy, you will actually lose the scenario, because there's clearly something here that Allied Command wants. So your objective is to capture as much of the convoy as you can by driving off its escorts. Psychanic says they love the screensaver. Yeah, no, pipes are classic. It was either going to be pipes or it was going to be the flying toaster one. I couldn't really decide if I wanted pipes or flying toasters. So data should finish building in a couple of minutes. I think we're probably going to be able to get a couple more scenarios done before we're done today. I think. Wait a second. Wait. Am I committing time zone crimes? 1 second. Streaming schedule. I am committing time zones crimes. Oh no. I am committing time zone crimes. We in fact have an hour and 45 minutes left on stream. I didn't think we got as much done today as I was expecting. Me and my time zone crimes. We are in the Discord, which you should join, by the way, if you haven't already. We have a channel, the streaming schedule. I will be perfectly honest. I suspect I'm the one that checks that the most, because I'm the one that needs to go there to remind myself what time zone I'm in. But yeah, so that's what I'm I'm terrible with time zones. In my defense, I suspect the reason why I'm terrible in time zones is because I come from a country that doesn't have them. The UK is all one time zone, and like Europe obviously has different time zones, but that kind of feels different. I don't just walk down the street to a different county and suddenly I'm in a different time zone. Whereas over here, you've got like 3 or 4 different time zones you can actually be a member of. And moving from Tennessee, the old state, to new state, did come with a time zone change, and my brain still isn't keyed in. Okay, let us ping up our scenario. Seeker 10,000 says American time zones are tough. Yeah. Okay. So, first check, we are in fact spawning a convoy. That's good. And the convoy's escort consists of a single Warhammer 2C. Imagine the Russian time zone. Yeah, but no, like yeah. So we are looking at a single Warhammer guarding this entire convoy. Let me have a look over in IntelliJ. Have we screwed up the so convoy is 50%. There we are. We have screwed it up. So this should be 1. I'm okay with the convoy being 50%. That's fine. So we can now go into the scenario on the 23rd, it's just tomorrow, and we're going to make sure that the scenario. Oh, I didn't click new day. That the scenario rewards us our goodies, because you're meant to get goodies based on the enemies that you capture. So let's make sure we get our goodies. Interesting. Oh, I must have clicked the wrong button. Comments, drop, confirm. There we go. Seeking advance says it should require a proportional amount of units guarding the convoy. It's all based on BV. Disconnected, but I want to be connected. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, something is wonky. Let's close out of that. This can happen sometimes where it gets a dirty connection. So we'll go back in. Well, not a dirty connection. It thinks the ports are closed when they're in fact open. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so the issue we had is that the Op4 had incorrectly got its force multiplier set to 1.0 instead of sorry, to 7.5 instead of 1.0. No, sorry, it was 0.75, not 7.5. That'd be big. It'd be chunky if that was the case. Seeker Advance says, would it be possible to have the convoy prioritize units of a similar speed? Not at all. Not remotely possible. Yeah, no, that's unfortunately, like I don't think you guys quite understand just how primitive our scenario tech is. It's really rough. People often say, well, why all the scenarios kill X, don't kill Y? It's purely and simply because we're using scenario generation tech from 15 years ago. King Mile says, did you accidentally change the stretch and hydrate redeems to once per stream instead of once per 10 minutes or so? All the options are in the same place and it defaults to 1. So I don't know, it won't let me change the minutes without setting a maximum. So probably is the answer to your question, King Mile. I will investigate after stream. Bloody staging data files. I'm going to angrily drink from a water which I forgot to refill, unfortunately. Oh, King Miles says, would it help to think of the states as European countries and the US as whole as the EU? I sometimes, not ironically, refer to the United States of America as the American Empire, because I think it is closer. It is closer to that than anything else. But yeah, I think if you view the states as countries, America makes a lot more sense. But also, I can understand why a country that fled the UK, the grip of the British Crown, might not want to refer to themselves as an empire. Oh, I can tell you guys about a change I am going to be doing. I don't think I'll be doing it on stream just because I kind of want to pay attention and really sort of focus on it. What I'm going to be doing is adding a campaign option so that if a character dies, you can pay permanently a point of edge to have them cheat death. So if you have a character get taken out of action by a lucky headshot, even if they've used up their edge in a scenario, but they have one edge like permanent, you can pay to lose that 1 point of edge and the character will cheat death. I still need to think about how I'm exactly going to balance it, but it is potentially going to come alongside a change that removes edge rewards from awards, medals and stuff, because I think really we are being far too free in how we give out edge, and edge is such a powerful tool. I'm trying to decide exactly how I go about that, but one of the things I want to make sure is that when you spend 100 XP to buy to buy a point of edge, I want you to feel like, yeah, I have really invested in survival of my character. And I think having it so that you get, like, you spend 100 XP, you get a point of edge. That means you can re-roll one bad thing in a scenario. Cool. And then even if you re-roll the bad thing but your character still dies, at the end of the scenario you can go, okay, well, I've got one edge. I'm gonna lose that edge forever, but my character won't die. And I think that's a really nice way to balance it. It makes edge more powerful whilst also reducing the availability of edge. Because the problem we have, we're in MekHQ now, the problem we have, and I've been pretty vocal that I don't like edge as a mechanic, but that's not strictly true. It isn't that I don't like edge as a mechanic, it's more that I don't like how people flood their characters with edge to a point where their campaign becomes effectively immune to all negative consequences. So Ticket and says, buying a point of edge, or is this a single point? So edge, to buy a point of edge costs 100 XP, and this is a permanent point of edge. Yeah, it's not like you're reimbursing yourself 1 point of edge. No, to buy a point of edge will cost you 100 XP. That's how it is set now. It's just that nobody really engages with that unless they're super end game, because you get so much edge for free. And what I want to do is I do want to take away the free edge. What I'm probably going to do instead is for awards that would give edge, I am thinking I'm thinking that we're going to reward you 10 XP instead. So combat experience, experience, whatever it's called, the one that you get from just going into a scenario, instead of giving you 100 XP's worth of edge, it's going to give you 10 XP. And that's enough to get you halfway towards, or potentially all the way towards, a new skill. But I think 100 XP is just too much. Sticky Man says, okay, for 100 XP seems steep. Yeah, so it costs 20 XP to replenish all spent edge. Like, so edge will, as you spend edge in scenarios, it will naturally return to you over the following days, weeks, whatever it is. But you can pay 20 XP, I think I set it up as, to immediately replenish all edge. But if you want to increase your edge, it costs 100 XP. And that's basically the equivalent of buying an SPA. Sticky Invasion says, I didn't realize that was a permanent point. Yeah, no, it is. But yeah, so as I say, it's essentially buying yourself a permanent point of XP. So it's kind of equivalent to buying yourself an SPA. It's the kind of thing you do once the once the character's skilled up enough that you're like, okay, I want to start investing in this character. Or maybe you buy the edge early and then you're like, okay, well, this character's going to stay alive longer. Oh, they got an Orion, a Black Knight, a Stalker. Hey, they got a whole bunch of stuff this time. Good. Oh, they got ground reinforcements as well. That's right. That's why. We're just gonna get rid of these because I don't want to deal with that. Radar says, yeah, my unit commander has 6 edge points just from the medals he's earned. Yeah, and this is the thing, like, that's 600 XP worth of edge. Okay, so we're going to deploy. We don't care about mines. Go away, mines. Let's go. Brenda says, I'm actually struggling to figure out, outside of SPAs and skills, on what to spend XP on. So this is the thing, okay? So, oh, I'm deploying some more stuff. So here's the thing that players don't always recognize. You at a point, you reach a point where there isn't anything to spend your XP on, and you kind of just go, okay, I might as well have every SPA under the sun. But I argue that you would not get to that point if your character dies, basically. And the reason why characters live so long is because it's very easy to get a character to a point where they never ever face, negative consequences to their actions. Like, if you have 6 edge, you are never dying. Like, you have to have something freak happen, like you get a cockpit crit, which you re-roll with edge, and then it's a cockpit crit again. Radar says I had a CT crit roll into a head hit. But yeah, like, outside of those sorts of things, you're not gonna face negative consequences. And so what I want to do is I want to try and bring those negative consequences, like, back. Secret Messenger says, yeah, from what I have seen, that tends to be how it goes. Yeah, and I just think that there's just more to the game if you add, like, consequences, like if characters are at risk. And of course this has to be optional. I control the field, giving my goodies. This has to be optional, otherwise I will never hear the end of the complaints. So we captured all of the goodies. Yum, 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 yum. Not entirely sure why the Orion and the Black Knight are in here. We need to investigate that. So let's head back over to IntelliJ just to check why are the Black Knight and the Orion in the... Oh, because they have objective linked force. No, we don't. That's a mistake. So we now go to preview. We won. Hooray. Give me my goodies. Don't care. There we go. Okay, cool. So that works. So now we can go to... Convoy hijack. Now there's some other things I noticed. For example, the convoy is deploying in 4, which is east, and it should actually be deploying in either the north or the south. And the player should be syncing deployment edge. Give me a second. There he is. This should be opposite. So in theory, this should cause the convoy to spawn. Oh no, I'm the wrong one. Let's try this again, shall we? The player deploys opposite the convoy. There we go. Okay, so now we need to spawn this again and see if that will work. Which means we are back into staging files. And here's the thing, like a while ago we implemented, so Edge is a time of war attribute. And what we did is we give me just a second. That's not a me thing right now. We did a come on, brain. We implemented the rules as written caps on Edge, and I found several campaigns where I was loading in the campaign. Isn't Time of the War the RPG? It is, yes. Where multiple characters, and I don't mean a small amount of characters, but multiple characters were then getting flagged as having more edge than the maximum. And I want you guys to realize the maximum was like 9 edge, and I was coming across characters with 16 edge. That character is never facing any consequences ever in their entire career with 16 edge. And I don't know if Knight is listening, because I know Knight's campaign was one of those ones that kind of pinged up as having lots of edge in it. I definitely am not talking about Knight's campaigns for once. But yeah, no, some people were just crazy. And when I joke about characters that have every SPA under the sun, but that I have seen with my eyeballs of seeing the walls of SPA. Secret Advance says min-maxing. I guess. But it's also kind of conjures this is the very difficult balancing act there is between trying to create a rule set that is suitable for players who kind of want to experience a more gritty narrative, and players who want to have their, for lack of a better term, their Mary Sue main character who never has a bad thing. And so we need to be careful that we are facilitating in the game both of those types of players, and all types of players really. And it does get very, very difficult to find the right balance between letting players have their perfectly perfect characters, but also exposing those characters to the dangers that would exist in the game world. Seeker 10,000 says the max should be a setting. No, it shouldn't, because it's rules as written. We don't have a setting for any other rule. Why should we have a setting for max attribute scores? Is my stance on it. It's rules as written. It is what the rules say, and that is that. You don't get a rule that says, oh, I want to give a +1 modifier to all medium lasers. Why should you be able to exceed the rules as written maximum? Also, I really, really, really don't want to have to program that. I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, the not wanting to have to program it is the main motivation here. I create campaign rules, options for everything, but it just because of how characters work, we actually do not have easy access to campaign options at the point where we determine what the maximum attribute score is. It's something that's being discussed behind the developer scene at the moment, of setting up a thing so that campaign options can be accessible from everywhere. And I am very, very firmly in the camp of I want campaign options available everywhere. It is a debate because it's an architectural thing, so there's a lot being discussed. But yeah, I would really, really like campaign options to be available everywhere, rather than me needing to pass a single campaign option through multiple class and method levels. It's a pain in the ass. Interesting. So this is an error I only ever see when I'm launching from the IDE. So I don't actually think that is an error I need to worry about. But yeah, sometimes when you're launching from the IDE, it just breaks. Okie dokie, pokey dokie. We have ourselves our scenario. We have the convoy, we have some enemy off-board artillery, that's nice for them. Hammer says, oh wait, more data staging, yep. Yep, indeedy. I might. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to end the stream an hour early today, just because I am still pretty fucking sick, and I want to make sure I have energy for tomorrow's stream. But we'll see. I'm probably going to make the decision at on the hour. Because I don't want to end the stream early. I'm just trying to decide if it's. What I'm trying to decide is if it's a sensible, like, am I doing this for the right reasons? Is it makes sense? Like, because I don't want to, but am I not wanting to because I like streaming, which is true. Okay, this is all working perfectly. Seeker 10,000 says if you wanted to end it early, I'd be okay with that. Gotta listen to your body. Yeah. Plus, the thing that is on my mind is that the Scotorious Bastard stream is 5 hours long. Convoy destination edge is 8. Let's go to off scenario template 8. Should be 6. Boop. There we go. So that's going to get the opposite. That's all perfect and good. There we go. Okay. And Psychotic, if you're still listening, I just want to let you know I have taken a note that I am required to write that glossary entry, so that will get done after stream. My forfeit for breaking the the Comstar interdiction. What is next? Next is a decapitation strike. Oh, Hammer's saying something is working. I am interested, Hammer. What is working? The first test is working. Oh, I'm very, very interested in what Hammer is working on now. Because Hammer, let me tell you that this guy's Hammer has some really, really cool stuff cooking in the oven right now. If Hammer doesn't want to talk about it in chat, Hammer should DM me because I want to know. So what Hammer is doing is Hammer is working on scenario objectives to take our terrible scenario objective code and make it not terrible. And I should clarify, when I say terrible, it's terrible for Year of Our Lord 2026. It is not terrible for when it was implemented. Like, MegaMek has just basically got so big now that systems that were absolutely fine even just 2 years ago have now been outgrown. And so we're having to do, especially in 51.01, we're doing a lot of infrastructure changes so that the program can now grow to the scale that it needs to grow. One second. The program can grow instead of dry heaving when you want to do something new and exciting. Yeah. Though I am certain that some of that dry heaving is me. I think many of you were here when we were stuck trying to battle our way through the parts codes the other week. But yeah, I think I am going to be smart. I am going to end the stream on the hour, but we're just going to hang out for a bit more before we close off. I suppose I can do the closing off spiel. If you have been listening to today's episode and you've been having a good time, please consider hitting the follow button so you can be notified of when we go live. If you've had an especially good time, please consider subscribing to the channel. All proceeds go directly to buying me a new computer so that I have an easier time of developing for you all, but also so I can produce bigger and better content. If you want to support the channel but don't want to go through Twitch for whatever reason, you'll find there is a tip button in the Twitch area where buttons live, but you can also press the exclamation mark tip, and that will tell you how to tip through PayPal instead. The big important thing here is that, like, I am doing this because I'm doing it for the love of the game. So never feel like you have to subscribe, donate, whatever, and never donate, subscribe, whatever, more than you can afford to. That is really, really important to me, because I would never want to feel like, because I come from a very poor background, and I would never want to feel like someone is spending beyond their means for me. That would make me really uncomfortable. Seeking 10,000 says, have you looked at the rewards to Free Wrestle Hague Republic since you've talked about wanting to do a narrative retelling of the campaign? I haven't. I should. You're right, I should. Auto awards actually is a really interesting topic that to close ourselves off on. Let me finish my spiel and then I'll go back to auto awards. If you are over on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, and maybe join us. When should you join us? We go live 4 times a week. We go live Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Those are our dev streams. And then Friday, we have a mammoth 5-hour stream where we follow the Scratorious Bastards on their a Rasselhaig house unit on their way to build up prior to the clan invasion. And I believe we are just down to a little over 3 years left until the clan invasion starts. That out of the way, as a bit of a final thing, auto awards. So I don't know how long many of you have been playing MegaMek for, but auto awards was only introduced in 2024, and it was actually my first ever major programming project. I've said this many times, but auto awards has absolutely no right to work as well as it does, or to work at all. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing when I made auto awards, and if you kind of look under the hood and look at the code, it really does show. It's very amateur hour, but it works, and that's the same thing. But prior to auto awards, all awards tracking had to be done in an external spreadsheet, and it was awful. Hammer says, little secret, I was half joking when you used what feature players wanted and what you go start with. Yeah, auto awards, I really wasn't like prepared for auto awards, and I'm really proud of it. But auto awards and education are the two systems I really want to find time to go back and rewrite. Education especially. I've described it this way before, but it's true now as it was then. Education was my difficult second album. Me and Hammer worked together really closely to bring Education and to create it how it is. But I also understand that Education feels like an old MegaMek project system rather than a new MegaMek system. It's very much built in the old way. It very much doesn't explain anything to you. You have to read a massive documentation to know all the ins and outs and all the tricks. And it has no UI support, and that's the big one. So I've already started putting in plans of when I'm just going to go back and just completely rewrite Education. Because I'm really not happy with that. And if I'm rewriting Education, I'm probably going to rewrite auto awards as well. That may actually end up, those two may end up being my break after the contract overhaul project. Oh, I mentioned this earlier, but I didn't actually explain what it was. So I mentioned earlier how with the contract overhaul project, it got its first major feature merged yesterday, I think. Maybe the day before, but probably yesterday. So now how we generate enemy, employer, and location has been completely rewritten from the ground up to create far more interesting stories. So you're no longer gonna be sitting waiting for Hammer says yesterday because you dropped that in the QA channel. Fantastic. Yeah, so it basically just completely changed how we generate the employer, the enemy, and the location for contracts. And this is just the start. The next stage I'm working on is how contracts get generated. And you saw a little bit of me working on that on stream. But Hammer says it's a huge step forward. Huge, yeah. No, it really is. I'm really proud of it. The next one is I'm going to be doing a massive overhaul to StratCon to bring StratCon to the level that I want. And right now I'm really focusing on expanding the types of facility we have and also what those facilities do. I'm also looking into expanding or rather completely rewriting how we generate StratCon's sectors. So that I think is going to be an interesting thing. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Some of the stuff I do off stream, if it requires my full attention and I can't be splitting it, like it's super complicated stuff, it tends to get done off stream because I need to be able to fully focus in. But I'm really interested for the Scrotorius Bastards next contract, so we can actually see the contract generation stuff coming in, and in particular, it's going to be really fun to go through the clan invasion with the new stuff. But yeah, so we've got 5 minutes left into the hour, so we're probably going to end the stream here. Thank you everybody for turning out today. I'm sorry we had to skip on Monday and Tuesday, more or less, but we should be back to normal now. A reminder, we will be having the Scrotorius Bastards tomorrow. Check the I haven't updated the schedule on Twitch, so I will do that after the stream. But check the Discord schedule, and it should show you. Let me just double check it is in fact updated. Now showing streaming schedule. Yes, that's correct. Yep, so it is. It would basically be starting in 2 hours if it was today, and it runs for 5 hours. So make sure to turn up. We're happy to have you. But until then, I am going to go and get myself some water, and die in a corner somewhere. So good night from me, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Toodles!